everyone, it's Caroline and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips when it comes to picking out which college you want to go to. Now, I know when I was a senior in high school, I was an absolute mess when it came to picking out a college. I probably applied to about 15 different colleges and I just had so many options, and that's not even including the 3 additional colleges I started applying to a month or two before the May 1st deadline. So yeah, I was definitely freaking out a bit. That's why I wanted to do this video, to help any of you guys out if you're struggling on which college you want to go to and making your final decision. So let's get started with the video. I have my notes here, so we are just going to go through some things you should do and things you should consider when you're picking out your college. The first thing I have is to keep narrowing down your choices. Now, if you're someone like me and you applied to so many different colleges and got accepted into most, if not all of them, then you're going to want to keep narrowing down your choices and thinking of different criteria, which we'll talk about later in the video. Now, if you're someone that only has a few choices and you almost feel like you don't have enough choices, try to be super open-minded and just trust the process, as cliche as that may sound. The second tip I have is to remember that you are the only one that is going to this college. Not your parents, not your friends, not any other family members. You. Now, I know this may be a difficult situation for some people because their parents, their family members, or friends are pressuring them to go to a certain college. I know I personally didn't have to go through that, so I don't really know how that works, but just try to remember in the end that you are the one going there, so you ultimately have to feel happy about where you're going. This third tip I have, it has so many different things within it, but the overall message is to do your research. Doing your research is super important when it comes to picking a college because it can really help you narrow down those choices and basically find the best one for you. First, I'd say to contact some students who are currently there or have graduated within the past few years, just to get an idea of what student life is like at that college. Definitely try to talk to multiple people from a certain college because you don't want to base your decision off of one person's opinion. Everyone's experience is going to be different. But if you see a pattern in people's responses, then it's much more likely to be true. Next, I would say to watch some YouTube videos. I definitely did this. I looked at different vlogs from different students from different universities just to kind of see what a day or a week at that college would be like. Even though it may be from one or a few people's perspectives, it still gives you a little bit of an idea of what life might be like at that college. This next one is super important, and it is to try to visit or tour the college. Now, I know right now it may be a little difficult to get an in-person tour in, but if you are able to, I would highly suggest going to campus yourself, maybe walking around a little bit, safely of course, or even just driving through campus if it is close enough for you to drive there, just so you have a better idea of what their environment might be like and if it's right for you. The next thing is just to do your personal research online, and there's so many different things that you may want to research, so I'm just going to give you guys a few ideas of things you may want to consider, and hopefully it'll help you think of a few more things that are important to you. First, I have cost, which when I talk about cost, it's not necessarily just tuition. You also want to think about additional costs, whether it's for transportation, eating out, anything like that, because it may sneak up on you and add up pretty quickly. Next, I have programs and majors. Whether you're already going in with a declared major or you're going undecided, there's definitely a chance that you may change your major at some point. And whether you're changing your major within a specific college at your college or university, I would highly suggest looking into what the process is like if you want to switch your major, because I know my freshman year I started in the liberal arts and science college at my university, and then I wanted to switch towards a business major, which required me to basically reapply and apply to the business school at my university. And that's definitely something I wasn't aware of going into college, so definitely look into that because there may be a set timeline of when you're able to switch your major. If it is going from, let's say, biology to finance, there may be a process and there may be a deadline on when you can switch your major. Next, I have location and transportation. So obviously location can be a huge factor on whether you like the campus environment or not, and also look into transportation, whether there's a good bus system or if there's an airport nearby if you need one. Definitely something to look into. Next, I have available resources. So this could be the career center, the health center, recreational center, whatever it may be. Definitely look into those different resources because they can definitely help you out during college. Next, I have the alumni network. Now, this is super important when it comes to getting a job out of college. Having all these different connections with different alumni can help you so much when it comes to finding an internship or job, so definitely look into that. Next, we have housing. So definitely look into the housing requirements your college may have, whether you have to live on campus for a year, 2 years, all 4 years, whatever it may be. And also look into off-campus housing if that's something you think you're going to go into, just so you get an idea of what it may be like, what it costs, all of that. Next, we have college and class sizes. This is pretty easy. It's really just trying to figure out if you want to go to a smaller college or if you want to go to a huge Big Ten university. Ultimately, you just have to choose what you're most comfortable with. And the best way to figure that out is with class sizes. Would you rather be in smaller class sizes than go to a smaller university? If you don't mind 300 plus lecture halls at some point, then maybe a big university won't be bad. You ultimately just have to make that decision based off of your preference in the classroom and also different opportunities outside of class. Next, we have figuring out if your college goes on a quarter or semester system. Quarter systems are much shorter, but you take fewer classes, I believe, and then semester systems you take more classes, but for a longer period of time. Next, we have safety. So safety, obviously, super important, especially at nighttime, pretty self-explanatory. Next, we have Greek life. So if Greek life is something super important to you, definitely look into it at your college. If you are someone that doesn't really care for Greek life and you don't want your college to be all about it, then definitely look into that because that could help you make your decision. Next, we have campus involvement. So definitely look into different organizations and clubs that your college may offer because you'll probably want to get involved in different things, and it's always good to look and see if there's anything that may interest you there. And finally, we have school spirit. If you're someone that really wants to go to different college sporting events, definitely look into schools that have those. And if you're not really into the whole sporting school spirit thing, then I guess that's just one thing you don't have to worry about. So yeah, that's definitely a lot of different things that you could research right there, but there's obviously so much more you could do. So it's really important to just make a list of different things that are important to you and start your research. Now, I know one dark hole that people fall into sometimes when it comes to research is looking at ranking. Now, ranking, it can be good, it can be bad, but don't base your decision just based on the rank of your school. Sometimes it may be helpful when it comes to getting a job, but most of the time it really just depends on your different connections and your networking. So that's why the alumni network is super important. And my last tip for this video is to go with your gut. I know if you're someone like me, you'll probably be second guessing everything right now because this is probably one of the biggest decisions you've made in your life so far. And let me tell you, it's just 4 years of your life, and to some people that may be a lot, to some people that may not be much. But just remember that whatever college you go to, it's not gonna define you for the rest of your life necessarily. And honestly, if the college you chose doesn't work out, you could always transfer. There's so many people that transfer after their first or their second year because it just wasn't the right fit for them, and their second time around, they tend to choose a better college for them, and you know, it just works. So don't stress out too much about it because it's not worth it. It's college. You're going to get a great education no matter what. College is just really what you make of it. So yeah, just make the best of it. Don't stress, and you got this. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what are some of your criteria when it comes to picking out a college. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
We could be dancing in the stars, we could be floating on away. As long as I'm safely in your arms, and it don't really matter where we stay. 'Cause, babe,